Alright, here's your last video of the year and the last two sections of the year. So we have 10.3, Shapes of Distribution, and 10.4, Box and Whisker Plots. So the key ideas of 10.3, Shapes of Distribution, are symmetric and skewed distributions, and they look like this. So if we have a bar graph that looks like, well, these would be three different types of bar graphs. They could be a potential histogram, just regular bar graph, whatnot. Let's look at that first one, and what I'm talking about is this one right here. So we've got, here's our graph, okay, and we've got all of our bars. What it's saying is that it's skewed to the left, okay? So the tail being down here, it's skewed to the left. And we're going to take a couple of quick notes when about each of those. And then the symmetric goes up, and it goes down. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It goes straight up, straight down. This one goes on an angle and goes down at a different angle. The tail on your skewed to your right goes up and down, so your larger amounts on your left here. So your tail is where you're represented by the direction right. And so there's a couple notes to put on each of these. So basically what I was just saying, now we have the information in front of us, but the tail of the graph extends to the left on this one. Okay, so it extends down here, and most of the data is on the right. So that's a skewed left. The left, and now I'm on symmetric. The left side of the graph is a mirror image of the right side. Oh, that got cut off for a little bit, but it should say of the right side of the graph. Sorry about that. And then the skewed right is the tail of the graph extends to the right, and most of the data are on the left. So to describe this data, is all you would simply do is say, okay, it's either a skewed left, a symmetric, or a skewed right piece of data, and this is an example of how to do it. So looking at this data, we can say that this is daily snowfall amounts if we wanted to in inches. If I'm looking at this and I were to draw my line like that, it's showing me that most of the data are on the left, okay? So this is where most of my data is occurring, and that my tail extends down to my right. So the distribution of the data is a skewed right distribution. So if I were answering a question on a test or on homework, this is what it would look like. I would say that's a skewed right piece of shape of distribution. You could just put skewed right, and that would be a correct answer. So what if we were looking at it with a histogram? So this could be, I think the book says it's passes thrown for football games. So over here is our frequency, down here are the number of passes. So looking at this and trying to figure out what the shape of the distribution is, well, if I were to do my line and just kind of see what pattern is showing, it pretty much looks like I could draw a line right down the middle, and there'd be a mirror image over here and a mirror image over here, so that would make it a symmetrical. And that would be your answer for something like that. So pretty easy concept. You're just kind of figuring out what's that shape showing you the type of distribution. Alright, so I decided I'm not going to do 10.4 right now. I'm going to wait till class. And the reason for that is because I have to take you back to Chapter 9, part of something I didn't teach you. And it would take a really long time for this video. So I'm going to stop you there. We'll reconvene again on Monday and go from there. So you are finished at this point.